Greetings one and all, this is Rhythmworks and welcome gamers one and all to my channel. I know it's been a hot minute since I've recorded any kind of footage, any kind of reviews, any kind of gameplay apart from my live streams on this channel. But I had a request from one of my subscribers, one of my viewers, namely Erlo, if I could actually do a review of two games which I have purchased, which are Helldivers 2 and Gears of War Reloaded. Now I'm going to do a review for Helldivers 2, and if I can summarize the game in a couple of words, I would have to say that Helldivers 2 for me has definitely been a sleeper hit. Not only that, I've quoted it in the Inglorious Ballbags thread that it is definitely scratching my destiny itch. Now, at first the game had been kind of hovering in my consciousness, not even as far as putting the game on my wish list. It didn't even appear on my wish list. I just kept seeing the game and seeing that Helldivers 2 just had this cult following of lots of people loving the game, and I just couldn't figure it out as to why that was the case. Now, upon first seeing it, it just reminded me of Starship Troopers, with the added comedy element in it as well, judging by the trailers. But one of my fellow ballbags kind of described it succinctly, and he said it's Starship Troopers without the tits. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a fair representation of the game, but but I digress. But seriously folks, I mean, at first I did not feel just the aesthetics of the game. I just didn't know why it was being regarded as a really cult classic for a lot of people, and the game has been out for a year. But I had to ask my son, who had the game, and asked him for his real and honest opinion, and he said to me that he regarded the game as like an in-between game. It's not like a game, a go-to game as such. It's not like a game that he would just basically just play and rinse and rinse and rinse, because, you know, he's a very eclectic gamer, as am I. You know, I like to play lots of different games, but fundamentally, I mean, first person shooters kind of taken over my third person co-op kind of gaming standard, if you like. And that's simply because of the fact that, you know, some of those games just kind of lost their flavor, in my opinion. But I decided to take a punt and get Helldivers 2. And when I first got on the game with my son, it was like a cluster fluck. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just didn't know what to make of certain things, and the control system, the looting system, everything. It just looked so confusing. And for the fact that there was friendly fire always on as well, kind of just, you know, made people liable for team killing. And if anybody knows the ball bags, they would tell you that I'm probably the #1 team killer in the group. So in a way I kind of felt right at home, but at the same time, you know, there was the possibility for everybody to make the same mistakes as I would normally do anyway. So yeah, all in all, just everything about the game on first look, first viewing, first playing was absolutely confusing, you know, and I didn't know if I was gonna get buyer's remorse for the game, even though the game costs like, what, on sale now for £34, and you can get the upgrade, I think is for 15 or something like that. But when I looked at the upgrade, it was like just getting, you know, cosmetic stuff, and me, I like to work for my stuff, you know what I mean? I don't want to pay real money to get fake money and stuff like that, which are called super credits in this game, by the way. But yeah, so I played a couple of games with him and his friend, Captain Yap, and then I had another session with not only my son but my grandson as well on the game. And I have to say, you know, upon my son's tutelage in letting me know what was what, and how things basically work, and also watching a beginner's guide video on YouTube, because I needed to do that just to kind of get a grasp as to what was what, because I was slowly but surely getting Destiny vibes with it. And one of the things that was said by a lot of people is that it looks very rinse and repeat, and on first playing it kind of felt like that, but that was because I was on what level was it? I think it was 1, which was trivial mode, so I didn't even know how to update the levels in the game. So when I was playing it on trivial level, it just felt pedantic, and yeah, just, you know, just running on automatic, if you like. Wasn't really that exciting. But it wasn't until I actually started getting on different levels and upgrading weapons and all sorts, which I can't even explain, because there's people who can explain the whole lore of Helldivers in a much articulate way. I'm just basically telling you my vibe as a 61-year-old man playing this game. So if I can say one thing, is that the game for me really shines in co-op mode. When you have a team of players and they're playing the objective and they're basically complementing their loadouts with yours, so all of the perks can basically be cycled, and not only that, you can actually share the loadouts that they have when the loadouts basically initialize, if that's a correct term for putting it. But for me personally, is the whole co-op vibe of the game, is the actual gameplay, which kind of confused me at first, but now getting used to the whole setup, it's a game that I'm really feeling. And I know a lot of people is going to be on the fence with it. In terms of my Ball Bags clan, there's literally one person that loves the game. He really rates the game. There's one person that was thinking about getting it and didn't know whether to get that or Gears of War. What was the other game? Delta Force, that was it. I think it was Delta Force, but the less said about that game, the better for me, because I was not feeling that. That was a proper Battlefield knockoff. But yeah, speaking of Helldivers 2, if you're on the fence about it, look at it like this. The game is basically between 35 and 39 pounds, or let's just say 35 and 40 pounds. It's a relatively cheap game, and if you are a co-op head like me and you've got some people that you can play with, right, even if they're all noobs, right, as well as yourself, trust me, I can assure you're gonna have a lot of fun with this game. But you're gonna have to kind of be patient and kind of put the work in and just get your head around everything you're seeing on the screen and the mechanics and the way how everything just works. It's kind of hard for me to explain in such a short video per se, but like I said, there are lots of beginner guide videos that would tell you in an articulate fashion more than me how the game works. And I have to say, after watching that and after playing a few games with my son, with his friend, with my grandson, I'm actually been playing this game on, I think it was it Insane? I think it was the level before Insane, but it was a high level, right? And it just felt right. It just felt right, especially with the teamwork that's involved, because obviously me being a level, I think at that point, I think it was a level 13, and my son, I think he was a level 30 odd, and his friends was in level 20, so they had different weapons opened up for them, and even vehicles as well, which I didn't know you can have in the game. I just thought it was just a bare on foot game to have, but no, you could actually summon vehicles down to get you from one end of the map to the other, which is great, you know. Is great. And like I said, you know, when you have people that complements their loadouts to your loadouts, because you don't really need 4 vehicles to drop at once, that doesn't make any sense. You know, the object is just to have everyone kind of what's the word, not coexist, but everyone to basically run or ride shotgun with you in achieving the missions you need to achieve in the game. And for me, it's like, it's absolutely perfect, absolutely perfect. And the game size, it's only, I think it's only what, 39 gigs as well. So when you check it, it's like it's £1 a gig basically. Do you know what I mean? You know, at a time when games are costing £70, and for like deluxe editions, especially with season passes included, that comes up to like 99, 100 quid a game. It's like, you know, people have to be more discerning as to what games they want to play. But I think with this game, for me personally, yeah, it gives me a lot of fun. There's definitely a camaraderie vibe in the game as well, and it's value for money, you know. Have I convinced my Ballbags clan? No. I think one of them actually tried it and said that they weren't feeling it. One of my Ballbags just didn't even say anything at all. So yeah, that's just down to them. But for me, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you like. Gaming wins at the end of the day. And I have to say, with Helldivers 2, it has definitely scratched that Destiny itch, which has been itching me for like years. I have played Destiny and Destiny 2, and I think I've put at least 600, 800 hours into Destiny. But since Activision went on with their foolishness, I just basically stopped playing it. But I always wanted a game that encapsulates what co-op is about. And to be fair with Destiny, that was the game where I met a lot of my fellow Ballbags as well. So it has a special place in my heart. So when I started playing this game and I got that kind of vibe with it, obviously I just couldn't stop gushing over the game. I really couldn't, you know. And my instinct was just to tell the guys, listen, Helldivers 2, man, I've played the game, I really like it, I think you like it as well, and blah 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 blah. But you know, some people like tea, some people like coffee. That's how it is. That's how it goes in gaming. But for me, I like to think of myself as a semi-eclectic kind of player, or semi-eclectic gamer. I like to play games that suits my mood. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, if I want to just chill out with my mates and play, yeah, I can do that on this. Another thing with Helldivers 2 is that there is a great sense of community as well when you play the game, because not only do you have personal challenges that you need to complete per day, you know, you have community challenges. So basically, let's just say, for example, that one of the community challenges is that you got to kill 1,750,000,000 automatons to give you, I think it's 55 medals. So it's something that people can collectively do within their group, within their squad, but actually as a community as well, to get the job done and to get you more loot and stuff like that. But overall, I have to say, I haven't even touched the surface in my gushing for this game. Helldivers 2 is definitely a sleeper hit for me, and like I said, it has definitely scratched that Destiny itch. So if you are on the fence and you've got £35 sale price burning a hole in your pocket, I would recommend this, absolutely. But like I said, you have to be patient and just check out any of the good beginner's guide to Helldivers 2 videos on YouTube. And if you've got a few mates that you can play with, they don't have to even be au fait with the game either, because it can be a lot of fun actually learning the game together. That's another thing about Helldivers that I think has put a feather in his cap for me, because you can have people that's just learning the game, and you can basically have people just dropping in and helping them out. But anyway, my time is passing and running. Let me know if you got Helldivers, what you think about it. And until I catch you on the next one, people stay blessed. This is Rhythmworks. I'm out of here. I'll catch you later. Peace.